Good afternoon, dear students. Hope you are staying well at your home, and welcome to my Machine Online School. This is Rumena Fruja, teacher of Kumuria Noral High School. And I am with you for class 8 English second paper. Today I am going to take a new topic. You are going to learn a new topic. This is not only for the class 8 student, but also for the students of class 9 and 10. In our public exam or in our terminal exam, in class 8, this is question number 5. You find this, the changing sentences. We're going to discuss about this. And students, this is very important class, so take your exercise book and take notes. I would like to request all of you, please join the class and enjoy the class. So let's move the class. Okay, students, here at the first you can see there are some pictures. So what can you see there? Pictures, a boy and a girl. What they are talking about? They were talking about, they're telling, boy is telling this, I see the cat playing. The girl is, I don't fail to see the cat playing. Can you find the differences between the sentences? Can you find the differences? I see the cat playing. I don't fail to see the cat playing. What are the differences? Can you find any differences? Yes, students, difference is one sentence is positive, another sentence is negative. Both are statement, but one is affirmative, another one is negative. And we know the sentences, affirmative statements are two. One is affirmative, another one is negative. Today we are going to learn how to change from affirmative to negative. This is very important. You have also marks in the exam, the question paper. So please be attentive and listen to this. Okay, let's see what are the learning outcomes of our today's topic. Today, by the end of the lessons, you will be able to change the sentences from affirmative to negative. Or it will be vice versa, negative to affirmative. One thing is, if you can do from affirmative, you can change from affirmative to negative. So you can change the negative to affirmative. Okay, students, let's see another picture. What can you see? Two students here, what they are talking, they are telling. They are telling about what? I'm a good student. The boy is telling this. The girl is telling what? I'm not a bad student. One is, I'm a good student, and the girl is saying what? I'm not a bad student. And the meaning is same, but structure is different. One is positive, affirmative, and another in second sentence we find that not is used here. Let's see another sentences here. I like ice cream. I don't like ice cream. Okay, here I like ice cream. I don't like ice cream here. The what is positive? I like ice cream. I don't like ice cream. This is negative but different meaning. Okay, so can you find the differences? I'm a student. I'm not a bad student. I like ice cream. I don't like ice cream. Here, I'm not a bad student. I don't like ice cream. Both are negative sentence, but in first negative sentence, the this is the meaning are same, but in second negative sentence, the sentence has been changed and meaning also has been changed. So this is the second one is conversion, and the first one is transformation. Students, we are going to transform, actually we are going to change the sentences from affirmative to negative without changing the meaning, because in our question paper, in our exam, we find that we have to change the sentences without changing the meaning. Sometimes it is not mentioned in the question paper, but instruction, that means question controls us to change the sentences according to uh, without changing the meaning. For this reason, we are going to learn how to change from affirmative to negative without changing the meaning. Okay. Students, look at the sentences. Here, in these sentences, we find that only science students can apply for those posts. In negative form, none but science students can apply for the post. Can you find the differences between these two sentences, affirmative and negative? Only science students can apply for the post. None but science students can apply for the post. Okay. Instead of only, here none but is used, nothing else. Here the changes is instead of only, none but is used. In second pairs, you can find Allah alone can help us. Here, in negative form, none but Allah can help us. Here, you find also instead of alone, here none but is used. Yes, one thing you have found that none but is used at the beginning of the sentences here. Okay, students, there is a sentence I have written, but I haven't written the negative form. Would you please write the negative form? Only Ria was present there. Can you write the negative? Yes, students, none but Ria was present there. Just simple. Only just use none but. Okay. So here the okay, students, here what we have found from this example, we have found that if we find only in the affirmative form, we have to use none but in negative form. Just only, instead of only, just use none but. And uh, if it is a person, when you will find only in the affirmative sentence and it indicates a person or Allah or God, so you will use none but. Okay, students, I think it's clear to you and it is easy for you. Just omit the only and use none but. Next sentence is, I gave him only a book. I gave him nothing but a book. Look at the sentences. He is only four. He is not more than four. They have only 2 cars. They have not more than 2 cars. Look at this. Just Instead of only here, use nothing but. Instead of only here, use not more than, or we can use not less than. Okay, what we have got, if we find in affirmative sentence only, and if it indicates only things, so instead of only you will use nothing but. Nothing but will be used in negative form if you find the sentence only in affirmative sentence, and if we find the only in affirmative sentence and it indicates a number or age, so in that case you have to use not more than, or no, you can also use not less than. Affirmative only things, nothing but, you use only number or age, not more than or not less than. Okay, students, we must obey our parents. We cannot but obey our parents. We must cure them. We cannot help caring them. Here, what can you see here? So here you can see that only instead of must, here cannot but is used, or cannot help is used here. So if you want to use cannot help, so after verb ing will be added. Okay, so you have to use ing after verb if use cannot help. So instead of must, you can use cannot but or cannot help. Okay, students. So not only must, if you find in affirmative sentence have to, has to, or has got to, should, like this. So you will use cannot but in negative form, or cannot help. You can use cannot help verb plus ing. Okay, students, let's move next example. I like both tea and coffee. I like not only tea but also coffee. Okay, students, the first example we found, I like both tea and coffee. This is affirmative form, and in negative form, I like not only tea but also coffee. Here, here just both and is used in affirmative instead of both and negative in negative, or not only but also. So this is clear, this is easy, I think. Not only but also. And next sentence, everyone has a terrorist. What is the negative form? There is no one but has a terrorist. Okay, students, here in this sentence, everyone, instead of everyone, here there is no is used, also but also used here. Okay, if you find everyone, everybody, every mother, every, after every, you find also noun, every mother, every father, or every sister, or every student, so you will use there is no, or you can use no or noun form. Okay, next example is, as soon as he arrived, we thanked him. No sooner had he arrived than we thanked him. Look at the sentence. As soon as he arrived, we thanked him. So what is the negative form? No sooner had he arrived than we thanked him. What is the differences between these two sentences? Here in affirmative form, you find that as soon as, in negative form, no sooner had. But one thing is, you should keep in mind that no sooner had, if we use no sooner had, verb will be verb 3, that means past participle form. You should keep in mind. And instead of comma, you have to use then. Okay, so this is the differences, as soon as and no sooner had. Okay, in affirmative form as soon as, and negative form no sooner had. If we use no sooner had, then will be used before second sentence, that means instead of comma. Okay, the next example is, Raka is as beautiful as Shara. Okay, what is the differences between affirmative and negative? Negative form is Raka is not less beautiful than Shara. Here the not and not less and then. As instead of as here not less than is used. Okay, this is clear. I think if you remember it, as if it you find as and you will just use not less than. First as not less, second as then. Okay. Okay, students, next example. Let's see next example. He is too weak to go. He is too weak to go. What will be the negative form? He is so weak that he cannot go. He is so weak that he cannot go. What is the differences here? Just to you will use so, that first to you will use so, second to you will use that, and also you have to use subject cannot or could not. Could not will be used when the sentence is past form. Okay. And another difference is look at the second example. The sum was too difficult for me to solve. The sum was so difficult that I could not solve it. Here in second sentence, same, but in second sentence, there are two parts here. Here, actually, in second parts, it's different subjects. If we find the same subject, that's only he is so weak that he cannot go. If we find the different subjects, so just you will write for and subject. It is pronoun, that will be object form. If it is noun, that for noun. Okay, student. Okay, students, let's see next example. He's the best batsman in the team. No other batsman in the team is as good as he. Okay. Another example, Dhaka is bigger than all other cities in Bangladesh. No other city in Bangladesh is as big as Dhaka. Okay, here, what can you see here? In affirmative sentence, in the first sentence, he's the best batsman in the team. Here, it is degree, superlative form. Yeah, superlative. How can we identify the is used and adjective is superlative form? Okay, no other here used. This is just positive form. You will make it positive. That will be negative. No other will be used here. That as adjective as you have to use. And similarly, if we find the comparative degree, so you will use no other first at the beginning of the sentence. So superlative degree, the adjective superlative form, no other, you will start the sentence with no other. Okay. And if we find the comparative, how can you identify the comparative? After adjective, you will find the then any other or then all other. Okay, and let's see next example. He's always punctual. He's never late. What is the differences here? Always, if you find the always in affirmative form, you will just use never instead of always. And if we and you have to also change the opposite word. That punctual, that means late. Here I have used late. If you find good, if you will write bad. If you find honest, you will write dishonest. Okay. There is an extraordinary ship. Here you will, how can you make it negative? This is not an ordinary ship. Here not is used, and extraordinary instead of extraordinary, here opposite ordinary here is used. Okay, I can swim. If you find this type of sentence, I can swim, I can write, I can do, I can go, I can play. So in that case, you have to change in this way. I'm not unable to swim. I'm not unable to ride. I'm not unable to fly, like this. Okay, so if you find always, you will just use never and the opposite of adjective or adverb, the word. Okay, then uh, if we just if we don't find any other words for, you have got the previous rules, যদি উপরের কোনোটাই না থাকে তাহলে আমরা সেক্ষেত্রে কি করব, জাস্ট ইউজ নট আফটার অক্সিলারি ভার্ব, use not after auxiliary verb, then opposite word, use opposite word. Okay, and if you don't find any auxiliary verb, so in that case you will use do, does, did. Okay students, I think it's clear to you. Let's check how far you have got the idea, how far you have understood. I always love my country. What will be the negative form? I always love my country. Yes students, instead of always, what will be the answer? What will be what word will be used? Never. And there will be opposite word of love, hate. So I never hate my country. And the next sentence, as soon as I reached home, the rain started. So what will be the answer? As soon as, what will be used? What words will be used? No sooner had I reached home, comma, instead of comma, then will be used, then the rain started. Everest is the highest mountain in the world. What will be the answer? Here the superlative form, so no other will be used at the beginning of the sentence. No other mountain in the world is as high as Everest. Every man makes mistakes sometimes. Okay, what will be the answer? Every, if you find the every, there is no man but. So you can use there is no man who does not make. So you can use no man like this. So what will be the answer? There is no man but. I think this is easy. There is no man but makes mistakes sometimes. Okay. He must have seen the Taj Mahal when he went to Agra. What will be the answer? There is a must is used. So can you recall? If you find the must in affirmative form, what will be the words will be, what words will be used in negative form? Yes students, cannot but or cannot help. He cannot but have the seen the Taj Mahal when he went to Agra. Okay students, let's recall what we have learned from our today's lesson. We have learned affirmative to negative, how to change the sentences from affirmative to negative, and what are the rules we have got. So if we find only, alone, if it indicates person, we will use none but. If we find only, if it is if it indicates things, so we'll use nothing but. If we find only and it indicates age or number, so you will just use not more than or not less than. So you can use any. There is no restriction or there is no rules that you have to use more than or less than. Okay, just you can use any. No, you can use more than or less than. If you find in the affirmative sentence must, so what will be the words in negative form? Cannot but or cannot help. So if you use cannot help, ing will be added. Every, there is no but or there is no who auxiliary verb not, or no, you can use no দিও আমরা করতে পারি. So every থাকলে আমরা তিনটা নিয়মে করতে পারি. একটা হলো there is no but and there is no who, এবং no দিয়ে, যেমন everybody hates a liar, nobody loves a liar. So you can use in this way. Always থাকলে আমরা কি লিখবো? never এবং opposite word দিব. both and থাকলে আমরা কি দিব? not only but also. many I didn't discuss many. If you find many in the affirmative sentences, just not a few. I can give example. There are many books, so there are not a few books. much, if you find the much, so you will just use not a little. If you find a little, so you just like not much. A few, not many. A little, not much. So if you find in the affirmative sentence true, true, so you will use so that, so then you will use subject, then cannot or could not. Could not will be used if you find the verb is first verb is first from. As soon as, what will be the answer in no sooner had than. Of course, you will remember when you will use no sooner had, verb will be past participle form. As soon as the thief saw the rape, he ran away. No sooner had the thief seen, here seen is used, the police then ran away. As. If we find the as in affirmative form, so you will use not less than instead of as. এবং উপরের কোনোটাই যদি আমরা না পাই, তাহলে আমরা কি দিয়ে নেগেটিভ করব? নট যোগ করে, অক্সিলারি ভার্বের সাথে নট যোগ করে, অক্সিলারি ভার্ব না থাকলে ডু নট, ডাজ নট যোগ করে। Okay, students, thank you very much. See you next class, and at your home just you will practice, because if we don't practice this, it's not possible for you to keep in mind. Actually, it's what should I say? Just you, if we want to memorize the rules and if we want to apply it, it's not possible for you to apply, because it is difficult for you to keep in mind all the rules in your mind. So practice and practice, so it will be easier for you to remember all these things. Okay, so thank you. See you next class.